Um, I'm Nareda Rodriguez, and I am a first year at UNC. My major right now is going to be global studies, and I'll get to it, on why that is. But this is my story that I wanted to share with you guys. So I was born in 1998 in Moore County in this very, very small town called West End / Eagle Springs. My parents are both immigrants, and they're both from Mexico, so I identify myself as Mexican American because I grew up with both cultures. And so with that, I feel that it influenced my type of leadership because my mom taught me the important role of sacrifice. And with her role of leaving her family behind, and my dad too left their children behind to find a better opportunity here and to also give their future kids the opportunity, I feel like that just growing up with that and being able to appreciate their hard work, it's beautiful because I learned through that sometimes you have to leave things behind for the better good. And I feel like with that, you're able to make better decisions for any group. So that's how my parents have influenced me to become a better leader. But I was always a shy kid. I never liked to participate. I was always in the background. I always sat in the back just because I didn't want it to be seen. So because of that, I never really interacted with my teachers at all. I don't think any of them remember me. It was so bad that in middle school that I had a teacher for 2 years because she taught 7th and 8th graders. And then after I left, went to high school, I came back to visit her. She didn't even remember my name. So, I was a very, very shy kid. But how that kind of all sort of changed today is through high school. I joined a group called HOSA, which stands for Health Occupation Students of America. I was very interested because I loved the community. I loved the people in it. My friends joined, so I decided to join with them. And with that, I loved the group. I fell in love. I loved to help people. We did so many volunteer services for the community. We went to homeless shelters. We did so much that I was like, I want to do this. Like, this is, what I want to do. But the thing is, it was very health science oriented. Most people in there wanted to be nurses, they wanted to be doctors, they wanted to be a surgeon and whatnot. So I guess with that, I was kind of confused because I loved helping people and I guess I was good at science, but so that happened, and I guess that's why I decided to become a nurse. But besides that, what HOSA has taught me is that you have to fight for what you love, and if you work hard, you'll get to it. So for that, I started to, attend meetings, and then before you know it, I was vice president by junior year. So with that, I started to come out of my shell. I started to participate more in class. I wasn't afraid to speak my mind anymore. And with that, I became a new leader. And I feel like HOSA has such a special place in my heart because it just taught me to not be shy or as shy anymore. And so with HOSA, my junior year, that's when I became vice president. That leadership role changed my way. It taught me you have to be persistent. You have to call people, and with that, I was always very shy just talking to people. So with HOSA, I had to arrange meetings and arrange advisors and public speaker. So with HOSA, I also, by my senior year, I was also in HOSA. The thing is that I ran for district officer, and also I ran for president for my HOSA. And I was the first Latina ever in my school history to ever be a Latina for president of HOSA, like ever. And the group has been running for like 30 years or so. Like, it's been a while. So I feel like that influenced me, and I don't know, it gave me this role like for future students too, because I grew up as being the minority. It was very white dominant school, and so I was always like, always shy about that too. But with that, I ran for district officer. So it's District 5, so like HOSA has many districts that you're in charge of. And so with that, I ran for district officer, and then I won the position of historian. And then after that, I was ambitious, and so I started to go with the state officer of North Carolina. So I ran, made it to the final rounds, and then I had to give a speech in front of 200 people. That was something that I would never imagine doing. It really challenged me, of course, and I feel like with that, HOSA has taught me that, yeah, it will challenge you. Like, that's what a leadership has to, like, it will teach you. And I feel that I didn't regret it at all. Like, I loved it. I had so much fun, and I didn't win to be state officer, but I was a runner-up, so that's second place. Also, with that, I automatically become vice president of District 5. So, yeah, that happened. Another thing that influenced me would have to be my competition for HOSA. I was so involved in HOSA because I loved it so much that the first time I competed in HOSA was my sophomore year. So basically, you write a research paper. No, it wasn't persuasive, right? I forgot the name of the category. I had to write, and so I placed at districts to go to state, and then afterwards, I didn't win state because, I was an amateur. I was, a sophomore going against all these seniors, and I wasn't very confident in my writing skills, so that happened. But it taught me to become, more competitive. So that's a part of leadership. Now I'm at UNC. I'm a first year, and the first semester was very interesting. I went from pre-nursing, that's what I originally came in as, to global studies. The reason being is that I was in a class with a professor named Dwayne Dixon, who I recommend you taking his class. He's phenomenal. He's very sweet, very passionate. I took the course Intro to Asia. So, what most students would think, you would take the class and learn about each country in Asia. Well, his class was very different. This man created 5 different syllabus, so you can choose which syllabus you want to take. So, which was amazing. And the final exam only counted like 10% of your whole grade, and then and I think your homework was like maybe 10% too. But it was very easy, and I feel like he made it not challenging, but it was easy for me because I loved the topic. It wasn't something that I've taken in the past. He was very random. I would say he would talk about random things. It wasn't anything like 1990 and then 1995. It was very random. Like, one day we will be talking about comfort women, and the next we were talking about the Box Rebellion. So it was different. The reason being is that why I changed my major was because of this one trip. In the syllabus, it stated that we had a final project, and that final project for me counted 65% of my grade. So that was a huge chunk. So my partner and I decided, because we can work in partners for this final group project, we decided to talk about gamers in China. So the League of Legends, they had their finals in Shanghai, no, semifinals in Shanghai, and the finals in Beijing. So I decided to go to Shanghai for the first time. So I wanted to interview the gamers because that was my research project, and how gaming has influenced the society. And so with that, I purchased a ticket. The plan was to go to Shanghai, right? But I didn't have a passport. I did have a passport, but it was expired. So beforehand, I think late September, I went to Washington DC to get my passport expedited. So with that was its own little trip. So once I got that, I asked for a visa, so because you need a visa to enter China. So with that, I was on my way to Shanghai, right? So it was October, I think. It was during fall break. So the plan was to go. Got there. I had a connecting flight in Chicago. So I landed in Chicago, and then I waited for my next flight. However, it turns out that my visa didn't get through, and I was stuck in Chicago for 2 days by myself. And so just being put in that position, it was nerve-wracking. I was scared, and I didn't know what to do. This was the first time of me ever traveling outside of the state by myself. It was the first time traveling on a plane, I think, and I was terrified. I was stuck in Chicago, one of the biggest cities, by myself, and I don't know, I sat down at the airport and I thought about what could I do. And with that, I was like, you know what? I may not be able to go to China because I couldn't get you just can't get a visa within that short amount of time. So I was like, okay, so I have to go home. I was so disappointed. But with that lesson, instead of sitting and crying and then just being upset what happened, I took advantage of it. And so with that, I explored Chicago by myself. I met incredible people too, because I went to this thing called the Cloud Gate. It's you'll see a picture of it. But I went there and I was by myself just walking, and then I hear some other lady speaking in Spanish, and she was a little old lady. She was the cutest thing ever. And so I approached her and I asked, can you take a picture of me? And so she took a picture of me, and then she told me where she's from. I think she was from Peru. She was there for a wedding. And I feel like by exploring Chicago, I grew up definitely how to be by myself, because going to the university here, it's oh, I'm from North Carolina. It's not that bad because my parents are 2 hours away from me, so it's okay. But being in Chicago, it's they can't drive over there for me, and that, so I don't know, that taught me how to take things. I don't know how to say it, but I feel like that trip really, it changed me. I grew up, I guess. So I guess for every leader you have to grow up. But yeah. So with that trip, it taught me that I love to travel and I want to know more about the world, because I didn't go to Shanghai, and so I feel like it's now my destiny. I have to go there one day. So that's what influenced me to change my major. So right now I'm thinking about double majoring or whatnot, but that's whatever. But and so yeah, that's my story, and I look forward to continue it here at UNC.